from, sir?
Orlando, Florida, crosstown raised.
Oh, man, and
downtown area.
oh, you gotta love Parramore, man. It's been around for so long. I remember being a young man over there, Westmoreland, all that stuff. That area is changing a lot.
Yeah, and they're trying to zone everybody out.
They're trying to move us out.
Yeah, they're trying to move everybody out.
It's so crazy because when you're going up, and I remember the corner store that's over there, and you walk right outside, and now you see all these nice, beautiful apartments, which is great. But, you know, community is community. Like, I still get animals. God, it's Palmer's Feed Store. I still get animals over there and things like that. Were you born here originally?
Yeah, I was born here.
And so crosstown the whole way through. You've been there.
Yeah. And the crazy thing, I was born in jail.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I was born in 33rd.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that, as much as you'd like to.
My mom, she was basically, she got arrested. She was on her way to prison, and she had me in there. She was beat by the police officer, but and went in labor in there. So that's you know, that's where I was born at.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mom's still around?
She's actually she's incarcerated right now.
Okay.
But I was adopted.
Okay.
2 days after I was born.
Okay, and the family that adopted you, they lived over there?
They live they're from Pensacola, but they live on Parramore.
Okay.
But she actually passed in 2013, my mom.
Yeah, may she rest, definitely. What do you remember growing up over there? A lot going on.
Most likely, mostly everything. I remember everything. I remember coming up. I remember going to Grand Avenue Elementary. It was like kind of from pillar to post, so I was like here to here to here. So I went to like 7 elementaries. I stayed in like 7 different like areas of Ivy Lane, Richmond Heights, everywhere. So West Orlando is
all the west side, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, as far as like memories, like what was one of the most impactful things that you saw as a young man over there? Because, you know, a lot of people, they hear Orlando and they think Disney World, which is understandable because that's all they really try to focus on over here. But, I mean, you know, even people like us, because we were kind of raised up and down OBT and whatnot, you know, in the numbers and things like that, they don't see that other side. You know, when you kind of leave Kissimmee and you come this way, how real it is over here. And, you know, people just trying to survive and make a way. What were some memories that you think kind of affected you or impacted you as far as like moving into adulthood? Because you grow up fast over there.
You grow up fast. You definitely. I think the reason why I'm kind of like I'm childish because I didn't have a childhood. So I remember everything and I witnessed everything that a child wasn't supposed to witness. You get me? You know, from drugs, money, murder, everything you could think of. I witnessed it. You feel me? And it made me who I am today. It made me, you know what I'm saying? I done went down the same road, but that's what I inherited. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was, you know, I kind of like raised myself. You get what I'm saying? So you just seeing everything in the streets. You seeing all the dope boys and this, that, and third, watching the movies. And when it's real, like when it's in your face, it's like you basically become what you around. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When you see it, it's there. It's there. You just don't, really don't have no choice until you get older, and then you realize, like, damn, this shit ain't get me nowhere. Ain't get me nowhere. Like, you can be on the block all day and doing this little things, and then you go to the, but you always get in trouble. You always get caught up. You know, I done been there, done that. Like, I done witnessed it all.
Yeah, for sure. I remember, you know, as a young guy, I remember around 2010, a lot of good guys went in over there. Like, the neighborhood really changed. I remember there was a big roundup and things like that, and things, you know, they take on another characteristic. So you seeing all these things growing up, you know, where does music start to come in as, you know, possibly therapy or an outlet other than what you're surrounded by?
1998, I was 8 years old. By this time, I had moved with my biological mother, and I couldn't go outside. I was on punishment. I had got on punishment for a whole year. And all I could see is like watching the music videos. And then I had severe asthma, so I couldn't play sports. I couldn't do nothing. So all I did was watch TV.
Yeah.
And back in the day, they used to have this not BET. It was called the jukebox.
Yeah.
Channel 11.
Yeah, I remember.
And I used to watch the Hot Boys and then Tupac and Trick Daddy and I just started, I started writing poetry. Once then I started rapping it. I started rapping it and I just got the feel of it. And then by the time I turned 16, I started taking it serious. And from there, it had its ups and downs. Like, I used to do the rap battles. I started becoming like immaculate with the freestyling and started doing rap battles in school. Didn't get to graduate, but as soon as I left school, like I said, when I'm about 22, 23 years old, when I got up in that age, that's when it started to take off for me. That's when it started taking off for me. That's when the city started embracing it and knowing that I'm telling the truth. My music is the truth, and they just embraced me. They took it in. Like I'm known for storytelling. You know what I'm saying?
What high school did you go to?
I went to Edgewater.
Okay, yeah. It's funny. A lot of people don't know this. I actually did 1 year at Bishop Moore.
Okay.
Right down the street.
Right
yeah.
down the street, yeah.
But I told Mom, I said, Catholic school isn't for me right now. Like, it was just being from where we were from, and she was doing the best to kind of put me in a situation of being around a different echelon of people, but it didn't feel comfortable. It kind of always felt out of place, you know?
Place, right.
So I was actually hanging out with the guys at Edgewater more than over there, and they were like, they hang out with you? I was like, yeah, dog, It's just a real people. You know, it's a little different ambiance. But, with the music now, before we get into kind of this takeoff that you go through in your early 20s, because most people look at you right now, you dress well, you look great, you got some nice jewelry on, all these different things. A lot of people think, it's an overnight thing, but there's a bunch of other kids out there that see you and are hearing your music and liking it and want to emulate you. What should they know before they get into the music industry that people really don't talk about?
The industry is a facade, and just know that it's strictly for money. It's currency. Like and what brings currency? Controversy. You know what I'm saying? That accumulates currency. Knowing that I see a lot of kids black kids, Hispanic kids, the ones, the minorities that want to rap, you got to think that we're targeted. We're going to get the deals. We're going to get the deals because we have the story. Yeah. And then 9 times out of 10, we have something going on where they can make some money off of. They can post on the blogs and say that such and such, and this person, he's straight out of Jacksonville, Florida. He's from Orlando, or he's from Tallahassee. He's from Florida, anywhere, and they're beefing. Beef bring bags. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So the labels are grabbing these artists and putting bags into them, but also putting insurance claims and policies on these kids.
Yeah, man.
You feel me? So as much as you beef, you can beef. We'll know how much money to make sure we accumulate when you die. So if you beefing real hard and it's always in the internet, we got 20 million on you. So if you die, we got 20 million on you.
That's so wild, right? Because, when you look at something as innocent as rap, at least how it started, when you go from New York all the way down here, the gangster rap really popping off over there in LA, it was all about the art form, but we didn't realize all of these, underworld things were really occurring. I mean, when you even go all the way back to the Biggie Tupac thing, right? Where two gentlemen who really were the pillars of a whole genre just died within like a 2 to 4 year span of each other. That's wild, but you don't realize all the business and how many people profited off of their deaths.
They're still profiting to this day.
Sure. Do you think that's, it's kind of deep, but do you think that's what's motivating all these rappers, because it's an epidemic, where before, in our community, a rapper would come and it was all love. It was like, wow, somebody actually made it out of here and they're talking about what we're going through. But now, the rap artist doesn't even want to go back home. What are you noticing? Like, because you're around a bunch of guys and you're in the industry as well, what's kind of the consensus? Like, do guys not want to go home? Do you think this is motivating guys getting killed? What do you think is really going on that's producing all this now?
Basically, what's producing it, like I said earlier, you are what you hang around. Yeah. You are what you see. But I'm not even going to say more so producing, manufacturing. Like these labels are manufacturing killers from, you know what I'm saying? They pushing it out. They pushing the product. They really pushing this product.
With no risk to them.
No risk to them. Only thing they can do is game. The only thing they can do is game. And that's what kind of took me out of the scene. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like when music switched up, when it switched, I came in the era like, you know, tapes. I went from tapes to CDs, and now it's no more CDs. Now it's straight internet. You know, sound bits,
streaming,
streaming. You know what I'm saying? I had to transition and learn and how to adapt.
Yeah,
you get me? And the artists that just come in and already adapted to the internet, their main thing is to troll. And when they go to trolling, guess what? They go to producing. The labels go to producing that bag in them. You know what I'm saying? I don't seen artists get 3-4 million, and they can't rap. Got no story. No
They're just
nothing.
visible.
They're visible and they beefing. That's it. It's crazy.
It's really scary, and I hate to use this term, but it's almost like slavery.
It is.
And the reason being is because you look, like you said, the minority, the story, the image, that which we've created, we're so marketable. But then, you know, it's kind of like you're funding a feud that provides no risk to you whatsoever without thinking about the benefit or lack thereof of the person that's going through it. You know, like, because when you look at a position like an A&R, right? Like back in the day, people actually cared about their artists. They're like, let's uplift them. Let's make sure they have everything they need. Let's keep them as comfortable as possible to make the best art possible. And what you're saying now is in less than 20, 30 years, it's the complete opposite now. Let's put them to have, let's really incite that feud. Let's really create that war. And, you know, there's a bunch of them going on right now, you know. It's like you look at these huge artists now, rather than making music together, everybody wants to go to war, you know, and then you wonder where it can end because, you know, the rapper, the nucleus, most people would think, well, I'm not too worried about them doing anything, but you think about that entourage.
Right.
You think about the gentlemen who depend on that person and all the people they feed and things like that. What are they willing to do to protect? Right. You know, what are they willing to do to preserve? And when that's your only stream, you know, people will pretty much do anything.
Right.
So that's really scary to hear from somebody such as yourself who's firsthand witnessing it, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what's a war without casualties? Like, you know what I'm saying?
There can't be any.
And nowadays, the war is getting funded, and the casualties are getting funded to fight back. So it's just like, bro, we're gonna make money off of the controversy.
It'll never end. It's
end.
like you look even at the thing in Gaza, right? Not to get too political, but it hasn't ended in thousands of years. People have been fighting over the same river and the same 5-mile radius for thousands of years, and the government's funding it. You know, we're not thinking about the kids that are dying, the women, the bombs, the casualties, people that have nothing to do with this. And that translates into life right now. And it's crazy you mentioned trolls because the whole trolling concept, everybody's trying to become something via controversy. You know, the crazy thing about it is, though, I think if you're able to survive it, I think it's really not long-lived because eventually talent is going to have to expose itself because how many arguments can you have without having any substance? And I think only time tells, but it's a fluttering career, you know, as opposed to someone such as yourself. I mean, Orlando didn't have anybody for a long time. I remember there were a couple guys like, you know, the song about I-4 and stuff like that. But somebody,
John Young, J Cash.
Yeah. Shout out to all of them. But for someone such as yourself to be like legitimate MC, somebody that was coming out with music, how did life change for you when, you know, things like, at what point are you like, oh my God, I just got this many views? Like, what was that moment for you? Like, this is real.
2013. It's crazy because once again, the way I went viral was controversy.
Yeah.
Like I told you, 2013, January 4th, I got a call that my adopted mama died. Yeah. You know, I go to Pensacola, go bury her, come back. I come back January 12th. I'm getting ready to drop my album, my first mixtape.
Nice.
So we're doing production. I'm talking about we all in the rain with it. We so hungry for it. I don't know nothing too much about music, but I know how to rap. But we got our own team. We putting everything together. January 13th. No, I came back the 14th. I'm sorry. The 15th, we shot the videos. We was getting ready to release for that Friday. January 16th, the video was getting released. I had to go pick some CDs up. We had got like a couple thousand CDs pressed up. In the midst of me going down the street, I was leaving Arlington Street, right behind the Wawa on the trail in 50. I was leaving there. I go to Pine Hills, pick my CDs up, come back. I never in my life seen so many OPD officers.
Jesus.
They shot my studio up.
What?
They killed my best friend. They shot my homeboy in his legs. And I was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be there. They killed a 19-year-old kid, and that story went viral. He died for no apparent reason. They had no business being there. They had no real warrants. Nothing. These officers, 6 officers, came up with their own task force by themselves. They didn't get no consent from no judge, no nothing. All they had was an informant. Walked up to my window and opened fire. Killed the kid in my studio. My best friend. We slept on the same couch in that same room where they killed him at. Every day. Every day. We was working. He was getting ready to go to school. Never been to jail. This kid never had no criminal history, nothing. No criminal history or nothing. That story went viral. So now I'm viral, but I'm dropping my music in the midst. We pushed the music out through his name, through Wuda. And it just kept going on. Then we started getting harassed. So now I'm starting to go viral by posting them. Like, I went to jail like 3-4 times in 3 months, 4 months. I don't bond for this, but I'm beating them because I'm really getting harassed. I got a lawyer. My lawyers, like, they showing that I'm getting harassed. 2014, the next year, I dropped the biggest song that popped me out, Jigging and Finessing, blowed the whole city up. But now, mind you, I'm already on the police radar.
Yeah.
Because when they shot that studio up, all they see is Tonii Boii posters, Tonii Boii pictures, this, that, and the third. You know, I shoot a video, Ivy Lane, the video go viral. They find out where I'm at now, because I done got from cross town. I done left cross town.
Yeah.
Go to Ivy Lane, they find out where I'm at. Hit that spot. You know what I'm saying? They hit that spot. So now, everybody, it's just a viral rotation with the police. Like, you know what I'm saying? And sadly, that's what took me up. That's what took me up.
That's a lot of pain at once, brother. I mean, to bury the woman that raised you, especially under the circumstances that she took you in, and then to lose your best friend over something completely pointless, it's really an indicator of a man. I mean, when you go through that all at once, you know, it'll really test your psyche and your fortitude, and for you to even just want to continue with what you're doing, it's nothing short of being a warrior, especially when you have a whole establishment against it. And maybe that's the reason Orlando, up until now, and you really never had nobody, because it's Mickey Mouse. You know what I'm saying?
Mouse.
No one wants to interrupt that cash flow, you know, the rat's cheese. No one wants to touch it because they take that personal. I mean, they even went to war with the governor. You look at what happened with DeSantis and everything. They were ready to pull him out on him. So, you know, it's pretty wild. Now, what's even wilder is, you know, because I know that corner very well, like the Magic's down the street, like, you know, it went viral, but, you know, I wonder now, you know, how many stories don't go viral? Yeah. You know, how many times is this happening? I mean, you know, police violence, and I already know your answer, but, you know.
They actually they tried to sweep it under the rug.
Of course.
But the voice had done got so big, his mom was not letting up. That should have been more viral. God bless the dead, but it was worse than Trayvon Martin. It was way worse than Trayvon Martin, because if you seen the crime scene,
it was a massacre.
They trashed the whole building. They was cutting, clipping the cords, like they cameras, and it clipped everything. They was trying to. They waited a whole hour to call backup or the ambulance after they shot him.
They wanted to make sure he was gone
to get their story together.
Yeah.
Then they came up, when you watch the news after that, because it hit the news immediately, 30 minutes later. It was 3 stories. It was 3 stories in less than an hour. They said they came for a knock and talk. They came for a music complaint, and they came because they heard it was drugs and guns in the facility.
But that doesn't mean you shoot up the whole place before you go in, unless you have no idea what you're doing or you're afraid.
They shot the whole place up, bro. I still got the pictures in my Google Drive. Yeah. But the place was riddled in bullets.
It's crazy how something like 𝗃𝗏𝗶𝗶, not that it was any less worse or anything like that. It's still horrible. A young man dying due to somebody's fear and ignorance. But it's crazy how something in like that in Miami, or further south, will just pop off completely or whatnot. And because he was originally from there, from what I recall. And then something here in Orlando happens like that, and no one wants to really talk about it. It's like exactly, like no one really wants to go over that. But it's crazy that even in a place like this, where we're the most visited location on earth, we're still going through violence. We're still going through abuse and oppression, but no one really thinks about it because no one talks about it down here. Most people come to Orlando and they go to the west side. They're like, I would have never thought any of this was like this. Like, you go up the trail, and by the time you hit Colonial, you're like, oh my God,
That's why we kind of take it so. We take it personal when people say, "Oh, we came out, we Disney." Oh, Orlando ain't nothing but Disney World. No,
okay, go.
Yeah,
that's over there. That's over there. But you come over here, it's a little different, and that's really horrible, man. That's really so. Another thing that I notice is that in places like this, they don't allow people who are from here to patrol here. I've noticed that a lot of the guys that work the Central Florida area, they come from other places because everybody's trying to move here. Mm-hmm. So that's a real big issue, because when you look at other places that do the same thing, that's really where all these occurrences of, kids getting killed, minorities getting killed and whatnot, because they don't know how to interact. Like, I'll never forget my father-in-law, who was a son of Oduduwa as well, ironically, 𝗵𝗏𝗍𝗶. He was from the Bronx, in New York. So they would insource, like, okay, you're from here and you want to be a cop, well, you're going to patrol the neighborhood you grew up on, because you're not going to kill the guy you went to school with. Right. At worst, you might tap him up. The cops fight in New York, just like I remember the cops used to fight in Miami. But here, I don't know if it's fear, I don't know if it's ignorance, I don't know what it is. But to have such a lack of training, and then you look at forgive me for just being honest, the task force, they're so in need. They'll hire anybody from anywhere. These guys are obviously not trained.
These boys be big bloods, gang members, everything. Bro.
They're the real gang. You know what I'm saying?
Gang, bro.
Because to be so afraid of somebody or a demographic where you shoot up the building to pick up what afterwards, that's not a professional at all, man. That's a hit. Mm-hmm. So you're dealing with this pain. You're growing. I've seen some of your videos. You've had personalities on there, comedians. A bunch of different things. Now that you're ascending and you're kind of, I guess, within Orlando hip hop, kind of on top alone, what's going through your mind at that point? What are you projecting for yourself, or what realizations are you making? Like, is this what I thought it was going to be? Is it completely unlike what I thought it was going to be? Because things are different from the other side. The view is different from up top.
It's nothing like I thought it would be. I mean, it's everything that I thought it would be, but it's like, when you get to where you work so hard to get to, like you finally get there, it just, look how much you lost to get there.
You lose everybody.
You lose everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right after that, when I left there, I told myself I wasn't gonna get attached to nobody else. I was just gonna go get my money, do my music, hustle on the side, take care of my kids. I started taking more of these young men off the streets and in with me. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say I was the best role model, but I didn't let what they had going on, I didn't allow that around me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I started taking them in. 4 boys at that, you know what I'm saying? Started taking them to school, we did our little thing, and just that and the third, but school closed, everything. 3 years later, same shit happened again. It's like, fuck this shit.
Get tired.
I'm tired. Get gunned down, shot 8 times in the back. You know what I'm saying? And there's kids around me every day. Every day. We basically look like twins. We looked like, same haircut, everything. I took him in, he hadn't changed his life. All he know how to do is hustle. We're gonna get him some money on the side, but he wasn't doing what he was doing. He wasn't breaking in no houses. He wasn't robbing. He wasn't doing none of that no more. Yeah. Now, if you listen to my music, in the introduction of all my music, you'll hear me say, "Get up, 𝘃𝗶𝗍𝗶." That's the last thing we said to him when he was out on the ground bleeding out. Get up, 𝘃𝗶𝗍𝗶. Get up, 𝘃𝗶𝗍𝗶. But now I'm labeled gang member now in the city, so We get to the hospital, they lock the whole hospital down. We can't go in. We gang, retaliation. We under investigation, all types. It's like, damn, this not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
I signed up to do music, make money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hang out, take care of my kids. Should get deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper. It's not what I thought it would be.
I have a godson, right? And you know, he was incarcerated for about 12, and I remember he got out. He received his hand to 𝗃. He turned his life around. He has a beautiful baby girl now, and we had a conversation recently, and he said, you know, Baba, you know, what do I have to lose to be successful? And I had to look at him very solemnly and say everything, you know. And when you hear a situation like yours, there's very few things that the street hasn't penetrated into at this point, whether it's music, unfortunately, even 𝗃, right? There's just too many people in need and too many elements. Because if you get enough men or people around, you're going to see how personalities mesh and how it usually goes left, right? You know, so it makes sense. I mean, as horrible as what you went through is, you know, the more visible we are, the more attention that's on us. You know, if we're not careful, the people around us and situations bring things that we're trying to move away from. So, you know, I empathize with you and, you know, your losses and whatnot, because it's just horrible that no matter what some people try to do to better themselves, you know, certain things follow them, you know.
I don't think, I mean, I don't know, just 𝗲𝗶𝗸𝗲 says that though, you know what I'm saying? Just being with a good heart, and it's gonna bring a lot of pain, you know what I'm saying? I'm still enduring it.
Yeah.
I'm still enduring it.
And I think this is a great point to really touch on 𝗃 now. So at what point did spirituality become apparent to you? Like going all the way back to the beginning, did you believe in God? Were you in the church? You know, what was that upbringing like spiritually?
You know, 90% of the black kids in the crosstown neighborhood was raised by their grandma.
Yeah.
So you was brought up in the church.
Yeah,
you was definitely brought up in the church.
Sure.
You cannot tell an old black lady nothing about Jesus Christ.
No.
Can't tell them nothing about Jesus.
There's a photo right there in the kitchen.
Yeah.
We're looking at him every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
The white one too.
Yeah, with the blue eyes.
Yeah, it don't even be the black one with the dreads.
No. They don't show
one.
Samson. Nah.
You know, and I really got kind of connected spiritually, not with 𝗃, but with just myself. 2011, I was cutting hair in a barbershop, and God bless his dead, this man named Mr. Mike. He made me understand bullshit from the truth.
There you go. That's a big lesson, though.
You know what I'm saying? A guy came in, fixed the AC, and he said, it was so hot in there, and I said, man, thank you, Jesus. And he said, why you just didn't thank the guy that fixed the AC? And I said, well, it's like, man, thank the guy that fixed the AC. And then he was spiritually telling me how people are God body. It lives in us. So I went to moving on that kind of that way.
5%er type mentality. Yeah, for sure.
So I went to, you know, researching, looking up the hidden colors and, you know, paying attention to the signs and the messages and everything. And I'm like, wow.
It's deep.
Yeah, it got deep. It got real deep. And, you know, I studied it and I kind of fell off from it. And then it wasn't until 2021, remember the end of 21 where I got into 𝗃.
Yeah.
𝗃. If it was, I started off in Palo.
Okay, what was Palo's experience like for you? What did you gain from that? What were your thoughts on it when you went through it?
Palo gave me everything I asked for, but I had to feed.
Yeah.
You know, I had to do what I had to do. You know, and but it's just like it didn't last.
It's quick.
It's like as soon as I ask for it, I get it, and then it just go back to what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, damn, man, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything. I'm thinking I'm walking into 𝗃.
Yeah.
Which I was, but I walked into
just a different path within it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Palo's always been so attractive because it moves like the wind. But the durability, depending on what you're doing, of course, it can be questionable. So I've heard that a bunch of times too, where it's powerful. It's quick, but, you know, the effects, you kind of got to sit back and wait for, you know, the boomerang to come back. Like, how's it coming back, you know?
Yeah, everything I asked for, it gave it to me. But it was like, damn, why as soon as I asked for it, I thought I was doing everything the right way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not doing nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But it's like, as soon as I ask for it, I get it. Then it's like, damn, I got to go ask something else because it's taking it away from me that quick. You
it's
know
constant. It's one after the other. So when you first heard about Ifa, what were your impressions? Because you're in Palo, you're having this experience, and then they're like, oh, but there's this. You know, what was that like?
Okay, let's see. The experience was when I heard about it, when I got introduced to it, I got introduced to it like I was just going through some shit. You know, I was just going through a lot, and when I got introduced to it, somebody told me, "Hey, go get a reader." Like, man, I don't hell no.
I don't want to know.
I don't even want, not even that, because I used to see people with the 𝘃𝗍𝗃 on. And it's like, man, hey, bro, keep that away from me, bro. You know, I'm just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Jesus Christ. I'm not. You know, I walk in and I finally go get a reader. You know, I get and bro, I never seen nothing like it. But this man, like, it's like somebody gave him a book on me.
They take a picture of you. Yeah, it's wild.
It was like, bro, everything that I was going through, this man told me. He don't know me from a can of paint. Never met me.
Yeah.
Never met me. He asked me. It wasn't until the second time I went, or the third time I went, and I was like, how long you been? I walked out the gate and I was like, how long you been practicing Ifa? I mean, how long you been a 𝗶𝗸𝗶𝗶? They're like, I'm not a 𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗶. Like, what are you? He's like, I'm a 𝗶𝗸𝗶𝗶.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't even know I was in Palo.
Yeah, that's so many positions. Yeah.
So now I go to doing the research on the 𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗶s and the 𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗶s.
Understanding the difference. Yeah, that happens.
Now I'm trying to understand. So I call my people and I'm like, hey, bro, what you got me into, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? And he was real enough to break it down to me and tell me, if you want to be just righteous, go this way.
Go the right path.
Go the right.
To the right, like direction.
So, yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
he said go white. He didn't say go right. He said go white.
Ah.
And I said, okay, well, he didn't refer me to nobody or nothing. Man, it's crazy how Ifa work. I go back home, meet this guy here.
Oh man, best is the best.
I go back home. He pull up to my he's one of my homeboys' dad.
Nice.
He go to talking about it, and I'm like, then this girl, my brother started talking to this girl, and she was like, oh, no, you need to go. Man, I went down south, go meet this guy. I've been locked in for a few years now.
Nice.
I meet Richard Nunez, my 𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗶, and he's been everything on point. I received my hand of Ifa. I probably done played for about 20 people hand of Ifa myself.
No, you're amazing because, you know, there's a bunch of people who love to talk prophetically and, you know, the community and all these other things. You're really putting in action all the words that you're saying, and to be able to be a beacon for your community so early on in the path and be able to bring them in and show them the light that you've seen is huge, and it's only a sign of things to come. So when you're going through the hand of Ifa process, and you know, Oduduwa usually isn't who they think of first, you know, especially with an Odu like yours, which is so big and like everybody talks in it. You know, how many people did they ask for first? And, you know, when it came out,
everybody.
I would imagine. So when you hear them ask for Oduduwa, what's going through your mind when it comes out?
I don't even know who Oduduwa is because I haven't learned nothing but the main orishas.
Yeah, the Shangos, the 𝗹𝗶𝗸𝗲s, etc.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, who's Oduduwa?
Yeah.
Like, man, that's the king of Ifa.
It's the King of Kings, yeah.
He's like, you know what I'm saying? That's the only orisha that crowned itself.
Yeah.
He came from the east.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he just got, he came from the east, and I guess was saying, like, the first man we see come from the east, we're going to make him the king, like, you know what I'm saying? And that's what, I mean, so now they telling me and, you know, reading me and Ifa and everything, and I'm like, oh, okay. But the characteristics match up.
What characteristics do you resonate with as far as your guardian Orisha? What do you notice that you have in common already?
Oduduwa had a temper.
Yeah, he did.
Oduduwa had a temper. And Oduduwa, he was an introvert. He liked to be alone. You know what I'm saying? But he was the 𝗃𝗍 that would take off his shoes and put on your shoes to walk through, just to feel what you was going through.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I heard this 𝗃𝗸𝗲 from you, and I can't really remember what it was, but it was like, I don't know if he helped. I want to say 𝗿𝗶𝗸𝗲 daughter or something like that. When it was something, but it's like he gave his lips or something. It was something.
Oh, the one from 𝗃𝗶𝗸𝗲, Papi.
Yeah.
So what happened was in 𝗵𝗸𝗲𝗃 was where, which is another name for 𝗃𝗶𝗸𝗲, was where Oromila and Oduduwa were brothers, right? Oromila had a daughter named Poroye, and Oduduwa had a daughter named 𝗿𝗲𝗹𝗁, right? And Oromila was a traveling man, so he was always trying to provide, and they were going through a rough situation. So he's like, I got this piece of work over here in Ife. Let me go make the bag, and then I'll bring it back, right? So Oduduwa was like, hey, man, you leave my niece with me. Everything will be proper, you know? But what happened was they ran out of food. So Oduduwa cut his tongue off to be able to feed his children, you know, his niece, just like his daughter. He literally took the food away from himself to make sure his niece didn't die, because he said, at least if I die, the girls will be alive when Oduduwa gets back. That's how thorough he was.
Wow.
And when Oromila came back, you know, he saw the girls and he said, you know, to his daughter, he's like, where's your uncle? He's like, oh, he's over there. And when they saluted or whatever, Oduduwa wouldn't
Can't
talk.
speak. Yeah.
He's like, what's the matter with you? And he was like, and the daughter revealed, like, you know, he fed us his tongue. And that's why till this day, Oromila speaks for Oduduwa. He said, you will have the grandest voice and you will have the last word on every human being because of you saving your daughter and my daughter, to be able to, you know, make sure that, you know, we didn't lose that happiness. You were willing to die for something you didn't even make.
Right.
You know, so when you hear a story like that about a man like that, and then you hear all the things that you're doing with your community, bringing them in, you know, it makes perfect sense. I look at my father-in-law. I never got a chance to meet him, but I've heard so many stories, you know what I'm saying? 9/11 hero, all these wonderful things. And he had the same thing. You guys all have that same thread of righteousness. Now, the problem is people look at you and get the wrong impression immediately, because when you look at Oduduwa or you look at a king on the throne, they're like, oh, that guy. You know, he's not even, but you don't realize what he holds within, the compassion. You know, it's not easy being king. It's not easy being in a position of influence, because you have to make the hard decisions sometimes, just like, you know, in your life or his life, you guys have had to, you know. So how has his example helped you grow? Or what aspects of him made you say, hey, I want to be better, or I want to do this or that?
Really, when I found out that he was the prosecutor.
Yeah.
When I found out he was the prosecutor, and he had zero tolerance, you know, like me just being through what I've been through and dealing with what I deal with on a daily.
Yeah.
Finding out that he was a prosecutor, he, you know, he wanted blood in 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, now I take those characteristics, and I don't want that. I just want you to get from around me. But I'm going to try to help you. I'm going to help you try to get right. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be righteous, you know, righteous as I can be. Try to be up for it with you, you know, give it to you blood raw. But those 3 days with me is, let me go back into my shell. Let me go back into my shell, because, you know, I received Oduduwa, and he's in my closet around no 𝗃𝗍𝗃.
That's where he likes it.
No 𝗃𝗍𝗃. He's covered up, you know what I'm saying? I don't bother him. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Unless it comes out that, you know, I need to.
Yeah.
You know? He helped me understand why I go through what I go through, because I'm Oduduwa. I'm the son of Oduduwa. I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, with pain come pressure. You know what I'm saying? With you know, a good heart it really truly don't get you nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So when I understood Oduduwa, I understood myself. And then, you know, everybody that's mostly around me, my brothers, a lot of my ex-girlfriend, all of them, they're in Ifa too. So they're Oduns, and who they are lets me know how I got to deal with them, or how can I deal with them.
Absolutely. Ifa makes you a better husband, a better father, a better brother, because you know lines and you know boundaries. You know where to touch, where not to touch, what to touch on, etc. And it's interesting you make the claim, you know, you know, pain and pressure, because I think the best heart is a diamond. You know, when you take a heart and you put it under so much pain and pressure and you can make a diamond out of it, it's still good, it's still clean, but it can't be broken. You know, and 𝗀𝗲𝗍 really put himself in that space because he got betrayed by everybody. When his father died, you know, his whole tribe betrayed him. He had to leave because they were going to kill him. When he got to Yoruba land, you know, some of his kids went in different directions. He was abandoned, all these different things. And at the end of the day, you know, there's only one seat on the throne for a reason. You know, he said, I came in alone, I'll go alone. But he had the satisfaction of knowing he did everything he could for the betterment of those around him. So, you know, that's a really incredible story in itself. You know, when we talk about Ifa, and, you know, I look around at our communities and things like that, and, you know, when you're coming up, you see guys that, you know, are pushing weight or guys that are doing everything they can to make $1. You know, sometimes it'll give you the impression that's all we can do. That's all we're good for. You know, but you having brought people into Ifa, you being a beacon for our people now, you know, globally, what do you think Ifa could do for our community? What could Ifa do for that young boy or girl in Crosstown, or, you know, in the Heights, or, you know, in 𝘃𝗶𝗱𝗄 or anywhere in Orlando or the world, in a situation like that?
Ifa can, let me see how I can, Ifa can take you from shit to sugar.
There you go.
Everything can be sweet, like, you know what I'm saying? If you listen. Arula's never told me nothing wrong. The years I've been in, it's like Arula, he never lied to me. You know what I'm saying? If I let you know, you just basically with the hand of Ifa, it's like you got the upper hand.
Yes.
It's like you know how to move. Like, you will know not to make that left turn. Ifa told you to go right.
Yeah.
Arula told you to go right. It's, you know, and I mean, I got the goods and the bads. You know what I'm saying? I never, anything that happened while I was in Ifa that's bad or anything, I knew it was coming. Yeah. I felt it. I was told it was gonna come. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just, if you want a message, instead of going, you know, like I said, it's no church for this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you want, you go to church. I still go and listen to the word. I like the music.
It's still a good word.
It's still a good word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But Ifa's the word. It's the message. It's the message. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, to people out there that think that when they see the 𝗃𝗃𝗍, you know, that's what I went viral for the other day.
Yeah, Phil was the one who actually brought it to my attention. I said, I know him. You know what I'm saying? Because I told him the famous story of when we met at the farm and whatnot, and, you know, it was just a very nice interaction. But, you know, you having the courage to do that, did you get any backlash? Have you gotten any backlash in general?
I got a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
But it was already being, the 𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗄 was already being crucified. I sent a picture of the 𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗄, and everybody went to sharing it.
Sure, yeah.
Everybody went to sharing it, because if you see in the hood and a lot of people that wear these 𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗄s, they be gangsters.
Yeah, it's another vibe. Yeah,
you know, they think they think,
and all that comes from Africa. You see the beadwork and stuff with some of these power groups. All that comes from Ifa, not for the same end. You know what I'm saying? Different combinations for different groups, but that concept all comes from us.
Mm-hmm. And you know, it's a lot of people that's wearing these 𝗃𝗃𝗍𝗄s and don't even know the meaning. All they know is it's protection.
Yeah, sure.
They thinking it's protection, and it's not that. Like, you know, I had to break it down. Like, this is some of our religion. Yeah. This is not us going to this doctor and this dude and this. That's not us putting these. No, we really went through the 3 days. We went through the
process.
Yeah, we went through the process. Like, you know what I'm saying. So don't disrespect it. You know what I'm saying? Because some people gonna take it. Me, I took it personal.
Sure.
You know, so when I posted it, people wanted to know, like, is this really what it is? Like, you know, let me know what it is, you know? And that's when I went to explaining it. You know, I explained the orishas. I explained, you know, 𝗃𝗏, you know, explaining what I had so many, I didn't even know on Facebook, when you get on Facebook, it's, you got your regular messages, and you got your, I think, like, current, but some messages,
you'll have your archives, you'll have some requests, like
and then you got to go through your spam, I've never, since I've been on Facebook,
Oh,
went through my spam folder.
Oh God, yours must, because you got like 100,000 people on there.
Yeah, it's
close,
like so it's like when I looked at it, I never knew I had that many messages. People used to say, "Man, I hit you up on Facebook." I'm like, "Bro, I ain't see that."
They don't understand.
And there's so many people in there asking about Ifa.
Wow.
Ifa. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my first time ever posting the rooster.
Yeah,
a rooster. I never posted my warriors.
It sent shockwaves because I got it. Phil got it to me in less than half an hour. I was I forgot what I was doing, and I was like, yeah, I met Tony, man, great guy. I forgot who you were with that day. You were with, I think, a brother or something like that. And after interacting with you and him telling me that, I said absolutely. I was like, I don't know why I didn't think about it beforehand, but looking at someone such as yourself, who once again, it's crazy because. And you got to be careful with this because this fraternity sometimes is like that. Like, you'll have a brother that's been in it for 30 years, 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and everything, right? And maybe he's just not somebody that people feel, compelled to follow. And that's okay. But then you have someone such as yourself, Hand of Ifa, son of a very grandiose Orisha, who even before going through further steps, at least up until what I know right now, look at all the people you're in front of. Look at all the people you could sway. Ifa needs a man like you. It needs men like us because you're able to help people understand. You're able to resonate with them in a way because you look like them, you speak like them, and they trust you. So the idea of you becoming a part of this fraternity is very promising for somebody such as me because we need all the people like you we can get. And as you take this step forward and a couple other guys in the industry that I know that are still building up the courage and getting strong to be able to do the same thing as well, I think it's going to be fabulous because it's time for us to be able to regain that space as being a world religion and the light, which Ifa always was. But now as we're going into the mainstream, you have people who have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. For you to be all the way outside with us, you have all my respect.
Yes, sir.
You really do.
Thank you. I mean, what Ifa has done for me, I mean, I owe it to it. I feel like, when somebody do something for me and it's a big deal to me because I don't ask for nothing. I don't ask for nothing. I'm very powerful. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just Ifa taught me how not to be. So you know what I'm saying? When it taught me that, I mean, I never went public. Only thing I did, you know what? I made a song called what was it called?
Is it the one where you said you were gonna do 𝗏𝗶𝗸𝗏? Because I thought I saw a clip about that as well, where you were rocking the necklaces and you mentioned it a couple of times. I was like, oh God.
I got one of those songs, but
I like that one.
I've been putting Ifa in a lot of my music now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was one song. It's called Purpose.
Okay.
It's called Purpose, and in the beginning of the song, I said, I feel like I'm alive, but I ain't living yet. I swear to God, on a stack of Bibles, they know I'll do it, but I ain't did it yet. Then it said, I went and got a line and got my spirit checked. Son of Oduduwa, big Ifa. Now that's a different flex. You know what I'm saying? And I posted the clip probably like 2 years ago. And it had like 500 comments on it. And I posted like 3 or 4 songs, probably 4 or 5. And that was the main song they kept asking about. Purpose. Yeah. Like, what's this Ifa like? And I went, I just had my 𝘃𝗍𝗿𝗏 song, I had my shirt off, and I'm just going in. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying all this. I'm saying I said on this 1942, drinking with 𝘃𝗀𝗃, thugging with 𝘃𝗀𝗃. I'm a prosecutor, call me Oduduwa. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just putting out, and they keep asking, and that's how I was able to, like, you know what I'm saying?
Pull it in.
I'm bringing them in, and my Baba told me, like, he said, man, you can't go on my Facebook. You won't even know I'm a 𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I never advertised it. He said they just gonna come. He said a ruler's just gonna bring them in. I don't advertise this. Word of mouth. Yeah. So that's how mine spread it, word of mouth. And every time I go get a consultation, they calling me to be a 𝗏𝗏𝗏. They receive.
Yeah, I can't imagine you ending up anywhere else. I mean, just based on your Odu and based on your trajectory so far and the Orisha you have, I can't imagine another space for you. You know what I'm saying? Just the pedigree is there. And, I've been in this a long time, and I know men, and, when it's there, there's no reason to stop other than, you know, means and process. But once we can get those things organized, you know, let's cross the curtain. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a whole nother world over there.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you're in a good situation. That's the most important thing, and things are going well. And, you know, I think that's what really separates some of the greatest artists is the way they're able to incorporate their spiritual selves within their music without taking away the energy. When you look at a Tupac, when you look at a Nas, when you look at some of the guys that have, you know, really been profound, that's what separated them, you know. So you taking these steps now, it's only going to bring more and more prosperity to you, you know. What's next for you, brother? With all the things that you've gone through, these steps you've taken spiritually, music, you know, is music the focus now, or where are we going?
Music is back to the focus.
Good.
But mainly like 𝗲𝗲. Like when I put 𝗲𝗲 first, it just everything just started
falling into place.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'd be ready to beef by 𝗲𝗲. Like I just like how I take it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's personal for me because it changed my life. It helped me. It saved me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I want to go further than 𝗲𝗲. I want to, you know, I want to tell the world about it. You feel me? And the only way, like, you know, I got over 300,000-400,000 listeners on my I think I got 300,000 listeners just on Pandora.
Incredible.
You get what I'm saying? So now I can use my voice for my purpose now. Yeah. I found my purpose. Yeah. Now I can use my voice and I can help people change their life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's the way. I ain't gonna tell you nothing wrong. Cause you followed my story so long. That's why I got so many listeners. Cause they followed the story so long. They know anything I go through or I've been through or whatever, I'ma share it with you.
They've seen all your chapters and all your growth. And I think, you know, as somebody who supports somebody, that's what we want to see. You know, we want to see the beginnings, we want to see the growth, and we want to see the success. So I think, you know, your listeners are in for a wonderful ride. And, you know, a couple thoughts I want to bring up before I ask you my last question. First and foremost, thank you for taking the time to be on. Thank you for being the man that you are. The interactions we've had up until this point, they've been nothing short of gratifying, right? I think 𝗲𝗲 is in good hands with you. I think 𝗃𝗏𝗟 is going to welcome you with open arms. I think it's only up from here. I think the greatest thing about you is you haven't forgotten your community and where we're from. Because it's so easy. You know, when you look at a place like Crosstown, they call it Crosstown because no one went Crosstown. You know what I'm saying? No one would, you know, Parramore and Westmoreland, no one would even go that side. You know what I'm saying? You stop at church at a certain point. So for you to still be outside and with your community and still have their respect without doing what you were doing before, I think that's a huge success. You know, there's no greater place to be as a man than amongst your people. So, you know, a big thank you from us. And, you know, what final words can you leave with all of our viewership? You know what I'm saying? Like, just a final message.
The final message is that gut feeling that you have, listen to it. You know what I'm saying? If something telling you to change or something telling you, or you feeling like something is pulling you that way, and you know it's in your gut, go for it. You know what I'm saying? The gut is God. Feel what I'm saying? That's how I use it. That's how I take it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, to the listeners, like, I mean, my listeners, your listeners, 𝗲𝗲, that's the way, man. That's the way. You know, thank you for having me.
Oh, man.
Thank you for having me. I definitely want to tap back in with you and get deeper in it.
Oh, that's guaranteed. Yeah. I don't think Best will let us separate. Best, man, that's a good brother right there.
I ain't gonna let it.
That's the man right there.
And he like a walking 𝗲𝗲 dictionary.
Yeah, he's invested, man. It's always so gratifying to speak to him. And when I found out that you guys were connected after last time we spoke, I said, 𝗃𝗏𝗟 is nothing short of the unifier of great men. You know, they always taught me that. The old brothers in Cuba said, 𝗲𝗲 unites great men. And, you know, it makes sense why the spider web, you know, it gets smaller and smaller and we're around each other more and more. So I look forward to it, every interaction, every moment.
I was just telling him, it was a Portuguese you was talking about when how 𝘄cie𝗂𝗹𝗁 was all red. You know, 𝗃𝗏𝗟 gave him a piece of, what was it?
He gave him the white bead. That's in 𝗃𝗏𝗟𝗃. Osameji speaks of it as well to help him relax, you know, because Shango, he was so intense. But, you know, it wasn't his fault. You know, when you're born of fire and lightning and brimstone and all that, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to calm down because Shango had a hard path because he was a man's man. He had to always be on stage, you know, so he can never relax or find somebody to confide in. And who he went to was his father. And 𝗿𝗲𝗍 saw what he was going through, and he said, it's okay to be. You don't have to be anything you don't want to be at that moment. It's okay to relax. It's okay to be calm. You know, when you look at a man, especially an adult man, his confidence is shown through his tranquility and peace. So the day you're able to seem peaceful and still get respect, then you know you're perfect. You know,
and I think I'm that 𝗿𝗲𝗍𝗲 for him.
There you go.
So, you know, yeah, man. Like I said, thank you. I appreciate you.
Oh, none but love for you, brother. And may your ancestors, may your mother, may 𝗿𝗲𝗹𝗁, may 𝗿𝗲𝗿𝗍𝗲, may 𝗿𝗲𝗍𝒻𝒻, may everyone bless you as you walk and continue to carry this flag for our people. It's been nothing short of a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Wow, guys! Before we even
Phil, that's
finish,
what we got. What you thought?
Man, that was amazing, and a lot of eyes are going to be open to this. So,
Nice.
When the episode gets released, I expect a lot of people are going to be asking a lot of questions.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful flex for sure.
So, well, speaking of flexes, I think it's time to flex that muscle.
You know what time it is.
For that elevator music, hello.
There you go.
All right, so it's time to show some love to the people that show love to the channel. If you're wondering why I'm playing that music, it's because we have a membership platform where you get perks. You get certain things based off of your membership level. So that could be extra shows, call-in shows, discounts on merch, or private parties. We haven't done that yet, but why not?
Get in there, guys.
All right, so here we go. Let's show love to the VIPs. We got Annetta Thompson.
Thank you, Annetta.
We got Diane Caligbor.
Members.
We got Soleil.
Thank you, Soleil.
We got 17 months here for Lulu Sprandell, OG.
Lulu, thank you, OG status.
And we got super fans here. We got Ruth Sanabria.
Thank you, Ruth.
We got Yenisly Diaz.
Blessings.
We got Diego Ray.
Oh my gosh.
And 16 months again for Lovely K.
Guys, thank you so much, man. We had a wonderful interaction with Mr. Tonii Boii. I'm going to make sure all his contact information is in the description to see if you can get in contact with him, booking, shows, all those wonderful things, or just hear his thoughts. 𝗿𝗲𝗍𝗿𝗂�andmore.com is up and running for all services and products we do ship. If you can't watch us on YouTube, catch us on any of the major platforms to be able to listen to us. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Big thank you from all of us here at Our Roots Podcast. And until next time, see the light.